It's Intercontinental Championship action here on Monday Night Raw, and as Penta is showing his skills against Dirty Dom, he almost snaps and breaks the arm of Dirty Dominic Mysterio's in half, and as Penta is fired up, he calls for Dom to get back to his feet so he can nail that patented Penta driver, planting Dom to try to become Intercontinental Champion, but it's stopped because Carlito pulls out the ref, and as Carlito is distracting the ref on the outside, this allows Balor to sneakily sneak in, but as before Balor gets to attack, he's beaten to the punch by JD McDonough, the returning JD McDonough, who grabs Penta and nails the devil inside, dropping Penta on the ground. And as Balor just stands there in shock, eventually he would just get out of the ring and turn his attention to McDonough. But back in the ring, as Penta scrambles to his feet, Dom takes the opportunity to nail a low blow, dropping Penta back down, and he scrambles to the top to nail that patented frog splash and crawls into the cover, and the ref has no idea what just happened. He just slides back in the ring and gives Dom the victory. And as Dom would celebrate, one by himself and also with JD McDonough, because JD McDonough is very happy for Dom retaining his championship, Finn Balor is not. He's actually the complete opposite, and it seemed like he's even more bitter than he was before, and he's having flashbacks from WrestleMania 41 when Dominic nailed that frog splash on him and pinned him to become the new Intercontinental Champion. Balor's still bitter, but nevertheless, as Dom would approach Liv Morgan, he has a chit-chat with her after his victory. Hey Liv, did you see my victory out there? I pinned Penta 1, 2, 3 and retained my Intercontinental Championship successfully. Yeah, I'm so happy right now. I'm so hyped. I just want to celebrate, and go out and have some fun now that I retained my Intercontinental Championship. Well, that's good, Dom. That's real nice. I'm happy for you. I'm super proud of the big, strong man you've become, and you're able to defend that Intercontinental Championship without breaking a sweat and retaining it effortlessly. But you need to keep focused so you don't lose that championship. But I highly doubt that would ever happen for a while though. But nevertheless, enjoy your victory, and I'll see you around, Dom. After Liv said what she had to say, she walks away. But neither Dom nor Liv realized the sinister Finn Balor was lurking in the background. And Balor, as precarious as he is, walks over to Dom. As you would assume, he's gonna start a commotion, and he does. As he approaches Dom, he says, "Yo, Dom, the man of the hour, the man I was looking forward to seeing, the man who retained the Intercontinental Championship against Penta. Yo, I just want to let you know, next week, me and Penta go one-on-one in a #1 contenders match, and the winner comes after your Intercontinental Championship. So hopefully you can hold the title long enough, mate. See you around." It's Penta and Balor one-on-one, and as Balor is in control for the matter of the moment, he's getting the upper hand against Penta, and Penta did not expect the wherewithal that Balor has in this match. But Balor, precarious as he is, tries to deliver those blows. Penta and Balor will go back and forth eventually though, and as Penta will get the upper hand against Balor, he chops him to the ground, and as Penta is even more fired up than he was before, and now he foot stomps Balor and delivers that neck breaker, and he follows it up with that springboard moonsault to put the finishing touches on Balor, but it would only be a 2 count because Balor was staying the match, not giving up against Penta. But Penta wasn't giving up either, as he tosses Balor out and delivers that Top Gun hollow, taking down the Prince of the New Judgment Day. But he isn't done still, as he uses this opportunity to build some more momentum, tossing Balor back into the ring, and he snaps Balor's arm in half, as you would think, with that Cero y Metal. But as Balor makes it back to his feet and struggles back to his feet, Penta's looking for a Penta driver, but this is where Balor would counter, and he sends Penta stumbling and crashing into the ref, and down goes the ref. And of course, as this happens, JD McDonough tries to take out Penta, but he incidentally takes out Finn Balor instead. And Penta uses this opportunity to take advantage. He grabs McDonough sets him in position, and nails that patented Penta driver to take down JD McDonough. And he's still not done as he picks him up and tosses him outside of the ring, disposing of McDonough momentarily. But as he turns his attention back to Balor, he catches him off guard as well, nailing that Penta driver once again to pick up the win. Penta has just scored another rematch with Dom for the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank. But Balor, who's furious after his loss, approaches McDonough and he says, "What's going on with you now, JD? I have to worry about you too? Like I'm have to micromanage Dom? Like I have to micromanage the whole Judgment Day? Get your act together, please." And JD McDonough just stares blankly as Balor walks off. It was an accident, but meanwhile, as the War Raiders would defeat McDonough and Carlito in tag team action later that night, they earned themselves a tag title opportunity against the New Day. But nevertheless, as Balor's in Pierce's office, he's wondering about his status for Money in the Bank. As he says, "Pierce, I want to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Money in the Bank is right around the corner, and I'm looking to prove myself by becoming Mr. Money in the Bank and cashing in for a World Heavyweight Championship." And as Pierce grants this opportunity to Balor, he puts him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But somebody who also wants in the ladder match is none other than Big Head McDonough, JD McDonough, who asked Pierce as well. And just like Balor, he's granted his entry in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. But as we reach Money in the Bank, who starts off is Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who's defending his Intercontinental Championship against Penta, and he's wished good luck by Liv Morgan before he heads out to defend his title. Here we go, Dom and Penta one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship, and as Penta would take out Dom here on Money in the Bank, Dom was in a bad position as Penta was on the offensive side of this match, delivering that springboard crossbody, taking out Dom, and using his power to lift up Dom to drop him for a gut check, and he tries to get the win off of that, but Dom immediately kicks out. And this is an incredible match on Money in the Bank as both men were firing shots at each other and not letting back. And as Dom would get on the offense, working on the arm and fingers of Penta, trying to take him out with that joint manipulation. And eventually, as Penta would get back to his feet, Dom would nail a drop kick, keeping Penta on the ground, down low. A valuable strategy by Dom as he would take out Penta with a DDT, a standard DDT, dropping him. And eventually, as he gets this fight to the outside, he delivers a suicide dive as Penta tries to make it back to his feet. Dom's suicide dive would send Penta crashing into the announce table, and Dom has him right in position as he sets him on the announce table, getting in position for that diving splash, which takes out Penta. Penta's out, down and out, and Dom has the opportunity here as he picks him up and he tosses him back in the ring, getting it back in, crawling into the cover to retain his championship. Dom retains his Intercontinental Championship to the dismay of the fans, but now it was time for men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and there was carnage all over the place, outside the ring and both in the ring, and who was going to become Mr. Money in the Bank. But on the outside, as El Grande Americano would deliver that diving headbutt to Jey Uso, he takes him out, but he gets caught off guard by a Machka kick from Rusev. And as Rusev was fired up, all these distractions on the outside take the attention off of Balor, who sneakily grabs the ladder and slides it back in. He sets it up and climbs to the top, and he has the briefcase right in his grabs, but he's stopped by JD McDonough. JD McDonough, who takes down Balor, and with those repeated strikes, JD McDonough knocks Balor off the ladder, dropping him to the ground. And as JD McDonough reaches for the case, he has it in his grasp now, but Cody Rhodes stops it quickly and tosses him straight to the ground. McDonough's out, Balor's out, Rusev, El Grande Americano, and Jimmy are down, and Cody manages to secure the briefcase out the distractions. And Cody is Mr. Money in the Bank, but Balor isn't happy because he's once again screwed by another Judgment Day member, and he approaches McDonough the next week on Raw, and he says, "What the heck was that, McDonough, huh? Another incident with you. When are you gonna figure this out, this issue, and get it together? Because I'm getting tired of waiting, and I'm getting very impatient with the entire Judgment Day. I created you, I made the Judgment Day. Now I'm gonna be the one to step up for the family, as my next strike on this roster is gonna be a big strike, because I'm going all out." And as Balor, JD McDonough tries to explain himself, Balor says he doesn't want to hear it, and he storms off. JD McDonough didn't even get to share his side, but Balor's plan is made crystal clear as Jey Uso enters the ring, and he's attacked by Finn Balor from behind. And this was Balor's plan, to take out and target the World Heavyweight Champion, Jey Uso. And as Balor tries to take him out, Jey would counter because he was ready for an attack, an ambush, and he drops Balor down to the ground, right in position as he hurries to the top to nail a Uso splash, but Balor wisely would roll out of the ring. And Jey says, "Since you want my championship so bad, you can have it. Me and you, one-on-one at SummerSlam." And Balor says, "Well, Jey, I accept. If you want to be the one embarrassed, and you want me to take that World Heavyweight Championship, I'll see you one-on-one at SummerSlam." And Dominic Mysterio at SummerSlam defends his Intercontinental Championship against Rusev, and he completely crushes Dominic with the accolade, and he secures the Intercontinental Championship to the delight of the fans. But next was set up is Finn Balor, who's prepared for his one-on-one match against main event Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey and Balor are going at it, and they're throwing haymakers at one another, beating each other to a pulp to each other. And as Balor would get in control on the offensive side of the match, he drops Jey and delivers that foot stomp, and he quickly gets him in the corner to deliver those maneuvers and a drop kick, taking out the main event Jey Uso. And Balor was in control with that choke to Jey Uso, but eventually Jey Uso would come back into the match, dropping Balor with that yeet punch, who fires up the fans, and he follows it up with a spear to take down Balor, cutting him in half as he tries to pick up the win and retain his title. But no, it was only a 2 count because Balor stays in the match. And as Jey is yeeting with the fans, firing up his momentum, this would allow Balor to come back. That slight distraction with the final cut to try to put him away. But no, Balor still could not put away Uso. And as Uso and Balor are both going at it, as Balor would counter Uso, and he tries to kick the leg and tries to take him down, but eventually Jey would nail a super kick right on the jaw of Balor, and he has him right in position as he hurries to the top to nail a Uso splash. But this is when JD McDonough would interfere in the match, and he tries to strike Jey, but Jey catches him and nails the strike to him. And as Balor gets back to his feet, Jey would deliver that crossbody, taking down both McDonough and Balor. And as McDonough and Balor in the world of hurt, Jey takes the opportunity to nail a spear to McDonough. And he nails that jumping super kick to Balor as Balor gets back to his feet. And this allows Jey to follow it up with the patented Uso splash, bam on Balor to retain his title. And just JD McDonough tries to quickly get Uso. Uso scrambles out of the ring. But as JD McDonough is looking on, you can see the anger on Balor's face, and he finally snaps. Oh my goodness, Balor with that backstabber to JD McDonough. And he's not done. He goes up to the top and follows it up with a coup de grace, piercing the back of McDonough. And McDonough's out. Balor has finally turned on McDonough to the delight of the fans, actually. And as Balor walks out, this might be the end of the Judgment Day for good. Judgment. Finn Balor. You may have taught me everything I know, but I've still proven that I can outclass you, that I'm better than you. And the whole Judgment Day is proving that we're better than you. And so, if you have the guts, I want to challenge you one-on-one at Bad Blood. And as Liv and Dom look on, JD turns to Dom and says, "Isn't that right, Dom? We're going to handle Finn Balor and take care of him for good." And Dom just looks and stares blankly at JD. He doesn't even say a word. And JD says, "Dom, Earth to Dom, can you hear me?" But Dom just walks away and ignores. And it seems like Dom has finally opened his eyes. And as he leaves JD and Liv in the ring, he walked past Finn Balor. And he just gives Finn Balor a quick glance. They glance at each other before going their separate ways. And as Balor charges down to the ring, he slides in and grabs JD McDonough. He's going right after McDonough, and the brawl is on between these two. And as the brawl will take place on the outside, Balor is in control in the brawl, and he's going right after McDonough, trips the legs, and that foot stomp takes down McDonough once again. And Balor once again is fired up as he gets him back in the ring, and he nails a shotgun dropkick. And he has McDonough right in position for a coup de grace as he runs to the top rope, parrying, and he nails the coup de grace to JD McDonough once again. And Balor says, "I created you and the Judgment Day, JD McDonough. And at Bad Blood, you will face your Judgment Day." And as we finally reach here on Bad Blood, Balor and JD McDonough are finally looking to settle their score with one another. And former Judgment Day teammates are going at battle tonight. And as JD McDonough is in control, nailing Balor with that slam, he takes him down for the moment. But he slams him into the barricade, quickly getting the action on the outside. And JD McDonough was in control for the matter of the match. But as he would pick up Balor, he would just simply toss him back into the ring. And as he would get the action back into the ring, as he would nail that diving foot stomp, could say shades of a coup de grace if you wanted to, and he follows it up with a devil inside to try to pick up the win. But as it was only a 2 count because Balor stays in the match. Balor was not giving up just yet, and JD McDonough was utterly frustrated, but eventually Balor would turn the tables back on McDonough, nailing the Tope con Hilo on the outside, taking him out. And as Balor is in control now for the moment, he's showboating a little bit before he gets JD McDonough back in the ring, and he tosses him back into the ring. And as Balor would get back into the ring, getting the action back into the ring, he sets up McDonough where he wants him, in position for that shotgun dropkick once again. And he nails it on McDonough. And McDonough's right in position for the closing. But of course, the dastardly Carlito, who's the one who shows up, and he's quickly shut down by Damian Priest. Damian Priest coming to his old teammate's aid, his old brother's aid, Balor, as he nails the South of Heaven through the announce table. Priest coming to the aid of Finn Balor, and this is what Balor had up his sleeve. But McDonough tries to nail the devil inside, but Balor counters and nails his own devil inside, dropping McDonough to the ground. And Balor's rallied. The fans are behind him as he runs to the top and nails the coup de grace, and he crawls into the cover to pick up the win, thanks to Damian Priest. And as Priest gives Balor a knowing look, Balor finishes his story, but there's one story who's left to be finished, and it's Dominic Mysterio's. And as Liv is chasing Dom backstage, he says, "Stop, Liv. Listen, I can't do this anymore. The Judgment Day has fallen into crescendo ever since Balor left, and I have to be on my own for a little bit." And Dom approaches the ring as he sees something, and he goes down to the ring to support Rhea Ripley. But it only distracts Rhea Ripley because it allows Asuka to lock in the Asuka lock. But with the support of Dom now, Rhea's able to power through the Asuka lock, and she's fighting back now, and she grabs Asuka and she plants her with a riptide, dropping Asuka to the ground. And as Dom is cheering on for Rhea, he says, "Hit another one," and Rhea obliges, hitting a second riptide to retain her title. thanks to the help and support of Dom, and it seems like they have fixed their issues, and Rhea and Dom, the collective duo, is finally back together.